Okay, so people want to know like what exactly happened last night. Well, yeah. So I woke up at 7, got to Detroit. Well, no, I left by 9. Got to Detroit at the radio station by like 11:30, and then Vivian was like, well, I like won a contest. Well, not really won because somebody like gave her like the VIP thing, but yeah. So it was like another contest. I like if you get to meet him, if you explain why you're like his like biggest fan and stuff like that. So then, when I was about to do it, the lady was like, well, aren't you with Vivian? And I was like, yeah. And then she was like, okay, well, you're like good to go. And I was like, I'm like, oh my gosh. So I'm like, am I like about to be Diggy? And then, yeah, but then when they like came back with like the results, and then they're like, so the first person to be Diggy is Vivian. And Vivian was like about to cry, but then she didn't. But I was like literally crying. I mean, I wasn't like bawling, but I had like little bit of tears, and I like wiped them. And then like maybe like a couple hours later, Diggy came to like meet everybody who like lost to, because there was only 4 people, or at least like 4 people and a guest who could win. And then I was sitting on the table, and then the lady came in and was like and then she was like, so are you guys ready to see Diggy? And we were like, yeah. And then all of a sudden like Diggy walked in, and I was like, and I like jumped off the table, and then I just like ran like to the front, and like Diggy was like saying hi to everybody, and then I was like, hi Diggy, and I swear to God, everything, he stopped, he looked at me, and then he waved, and he smiled, and I was like, oh my gosh. And then what else happened? um and it was like finally time for like the meet and greet. I seen like they opened the doors because Diggy used to like the radio thing they do in like interviews, and then I was like, hi, Spin. And then he was like, hi. I got a happy. And then when I walked past him, I was like, can I get a hug? And then he was like, sure. And then I got a hug. And I'm like, he smells like really good. And then, so I was like, well, like last week you like DM'd me on Twitter, and then you said that you loved me. And he was like, really? And I was like, yeah. And then I guess like he like remembered me or something. And then we were like all talking like that, and then like Diggy like walked out, and then it was me. I mean, it's a lot of us, but it only seemed like me, Jazz, Keela, and Vivian were like the only 4 people who was like making it like hype, because everybody else there was like little, there was like 10 and stuff like that. And we're like, man, whatever. So then Diggy came out. So then we were like, hey, Diggy, do the shoulder dance, and then he did it. And we were like, hey. Um, so then he did it, and he was like smiling when he walked up to everybody, and then everybody like took their pictures, stuff like that. And then and it was finally our turn, and Vivian was like literally laying down on the ground. So I'm like, you know what? I'm like, Vivian, just get up. So then I walked to Diggy, and then he was like, hi, and then he was like reaching out to give me a hug, and I was about to give him a hug, then I stopped, and I was like, I just like stopped, and then eventually, and then like 2 seconds later, I like gave him a hug, and he smelled like he smelled really good. What else happened? And then Vivian finally got up, and then we took our picture, and then so then I got him a Kit Kat. So then I was like, I got you a Kit Kat, and then he was like, thank you, and then I was like, you're welcome. And then Vivian was talking to him about like the scrapbook and stuff that we gave, and then about his shirt and stuff like that. And then what else happened? Um, and then when it was like time for like the next group, cause I think ours was like the longest. And then when it was like time for like the next group, I was like, wait a minute, Diggy, have you seen my videos called like 2012 is Diggy's year? And then he was like, actually I did. And I was like, oh my gosh, that's so good. So then like, so then me and Vivian, we went over to Spin, and then we were like, Spin, can we get a picture? And he was like, yeah. So then we gave like this like little 10-year-old the phone to take a picture. And he took it, it was like blurry. So then like we was about to retake it. And then Spin was just like laughing at the little girl. And then when Diggy walked past, man just like latched on to Diggy, and we were like, Span, you were not slick. And then he just laughed. And then with Diggy was walking out, I was like, I love you, Diggy. And then he turns around, and then he was like, I love you more. And then I was like, oh my gosh. Then, okay, then we just skip to the concert part. And then the concert was actually kind of boring at first until TK and Cash came. TK and Cash came, I like ran down to the front, and I was just getting it with them. And then yeah, like, everybody like just like got their receipts and just like ran to the stage. What else happened? And then we had to go back to our seats. And then when the rejects came, we did the same thing. And then they were like planning on like shutting it down. My hair is really poofy. And then they were like planning on like shutting it down. I'm like y'all just can't do that, but they did it. Cause we went back to our seats, so like they didn't shut it down. And then when I was in the seat, all of a sudden I heard DJ Spin King, and I was like, spin, because the other DJ was born, so I was like spin, and then you know Rack City came on. Spin, he was just like getting hype, and then all of a sudden Spin was like, if you want to see the show, let me hear all of y'all say Diggy, Diggy. So yeah, and then like I was on top of the chairs when Spin came out, like you know I was just bouncing on top of my chair. And then when I seen Diggy, me and Paige like hopped over this man. I don't know if we kicked him or anything. We just hopped up to the man. We just ran up to the front. And then security like stopped us, and I did not move. I was just sitting there, you know, rapping along to Shook Ones. Then like nobody like all like the groups like it was like so quiet. Like all the groups like they didn't know what to say. Like they were just standing there like nah. I'm like y'all a fail. So then Great Expectations came on. And I was just like rapping along to that. And Spin, like I swear, like Spin like licked him out. He just started laughing. Yeah. And then Diggy did like them all. And then it's like the part where they be like Mama say, Mama sigh. Yeah, that part. I did. And then like he was Dougie, so then I started to do the Dougie with him. And then you know he did do like you copy paste, and of course everybody knew those songs. He did, yeah. And then like when he was like doing like his final speech, like me and Paige left, like we like literally we ran out of there so quick because we wanted to find his car. So we were standing by the car, and then some dude from the Rejects came out, and then we were like, hey, excuse me, I'm assisting his car, and then he was like, yeah. And we were like, are you serious? And he was like, yeah, I swear. So we were just like standing there, and then like the driver came out. So then we were like, excuse me, is this Diggy's car? And then he was like, well, what makes you think that? And then we were like, that right there, because all you had to say was no, but you did. So then he looked at us, and then Paige jumps up and was like, it's my birthday. And then the driver was like, okay, we'll just stand right here. And we're like, oh my gosh. So then like all of a sudden Spin came out. Like 20 minutes later, like Spin came out. He was just by the car, and we were like, Spin. And, like we whispered it because like we didn't want to have like a crowd. So we were like, Spin, hi. And then he licked up and smiled, and then he went back to whatever he was doing. Then like a whole bunch of groupies came. I'm like, yeah, really? I'm like, he in the car now, so just stop. There's some of them left, and some of them came back. And then when it was like, no, then TK and Cash walked out, and then so me and Paige, we were like TK and Cash, and then like we whispered it again, and then they turned around, and I was like, can I get a hug? And then like Cash walked up, and then I stopped, and then he stopped, and I was like, okay. I gave him a hug, and then I got a hug from TK too. They smell really good too. Oh, so did Diggy. Diggy smells so good. And then, yeah, and then the driver came back up, and then he opened up the door for Spin. Well, I don't know why the doors, because Spin was already in the car. But yeah, so then I was like, can I talk to Spin? And then he was like, yeah. So then I was like, Spin, are you about to go eat? And then he was like, no. And then I was like, so did you and Diggy like really see my video? It's called like 2012 Diggy year. And then he was like, yeah, we both seen it. I was like, okay. Yeah, so I was like halfway in the car basically, because like I asked to like get in there. Well, not really get in there, but like half my body was in there. I was just like talking to Spin. And then Vivian talked to him, and I think Paige talked to him. And then they made a smoke, and Diggy was about to come out. So then Diggy came out, and then he said, well, I love all of you guys, and da-da-da. And like I was by the door, so like Diggy like walked right past me. So he walked past me, I like grabbed his jacket. Like he walked past me, and I was just like whoosh. And I feel kind of bad for that, because I don't feel like I know I shouldn't have grabbed his jacket, but I did, which I feel bad. And then they like, yeah, then they got in the car, and I was like, bye. And then they waved, and then that was basically it. I mean, it was just a really fun time to me. Like, yeah, I'm happy I met Diggy. He liked me one day. He's so sweet. Yeah. Oh, my jacket smells so good, and I do not plan on washing. I don't know if it's Diggy, TK, or Cash. I don't know, but it smells so good. So I don't think I'm gonna wash it, or I don't think I'm just gonna wear it. I'm just gonna like hang it up or something, because it smells so good. Yeah, but that's pretty much all. Yesterday was like the best day of my life.